Hello and welcome to this first look exploring session looking at the Goblins. By John Suckling, written around 1638. That's about all I know about it. I do know it has a bit of a hinterland, and it has there are waves. This has some sort of this isn't a play that's just disappears into the ether. But apart from that, I know next to nothing about it, and we're going to find out how it functions. I do know it's not very long. We're doing this in 2 sessions, and we're going to do the first 3 acts today, and with this wonderful set of readers, all who have an awful lot of parts, many of whom don't say very much, and all of which have very silly names. So, reading the prologue, Nassurat, Ardellan, Stramador, and Reginella is.
Donald in Northamptonshire in England.
Reading the incredibly taxing roles of Thieves, First Thief, Piramont, Phemilia, and Searchers is.
As Sarah Blake in The Hague.
Reading Samorat, Peridor, Constable and Prince is.
Aliki in Athens.
Reading Philatel, Sergeant, Jailer, and Second Thief is.
Oh, that'd be me. My name's Lynn. I'm in the Northwestern United States.
Reading Torcular, Poet, Tailor, Sabrina, and Messenger.
Lois in London.
And reading Orsabrin, Phontrel, and Boy is.
Alan in an alphabet soup in Suffolk.
And joining us for the first time, be gentle everyone, reading Pellegrin and Tamoren is.
Aidan in Dublin. Thank you for having me.
And I'm your host, Robert Crighton. I'll be reading stage directions and leaping in when the doubling clearly collapses around my ears. As they say, there's an awful lot of parts, but a lot of them don't say very much at all. We start off with, however, with a fairly chunky prologue, and as is my wont in such things, I'm going to do this because the playwright has broken the house rules.
Yes.
So, just going to do that before we start. Take it away, prologue.
Good. Wit in a prologue, poets justly may style a new imposition on a play. When Shakespeare, Beaumont, Fletcher ruled the stage, the scarce were 10 good palates in the age, more curious cooks than guests. For men would eat most heartily of any kind of meat. And then what strange variety! Each play a feast for epicures, and that each day. But mark how oddly it has come about, and how unluckily it now falls out. The palates are grown higher, number increased, and the want's that which should make up the feast. And yet you're so unconscionable. You'd have, forsooth, of late, that which they never gave. Banquets before and after. Now, pox on him that first good prologue writ. He left a kind of rent charge upon wit, which if succeeding poets fail to pay, they forfeit all their worth. And that's their play. You have ladies' humours, and you're grown to that. You will not like the man, lest that his boots and hat be right. No play unless the prologue be, and epilogue writ curiosity. Well, gentles, 'tis the grievance of the place, and pray consider it, for here's the case. The richness of the ground is gone and spent, men's brains grow barren, and you raise the rent.
Okay, I'm going to pause there. This is a very interesting prologue. I mean, it's a useless prologue to us today. It is reacting and referencing the theatre of late 1630s. And spoiler alert, there isn't a lot more theatre of this kind to come because they don't know they've only got about 4 years before the theatres close. But it's interesting because we are in this sort of end of. And we've had a theatre industry that's been really prolific for a long time, and it's like everything's kind of been done, and that's sort of what this prologue is in part reacting to, and people who used to be the big names, who are of course all a tad bit dead. There aren't that many people left standing in 1638, and only I think by the skin of their teeth in at least one instance. So yeah, all the big names passed. Thoughts in the room on this, just on more on a historical note than on a prologue that we will ever use.
Yeah.
Lois.
Well, one thing about it is that he seems to be saying that prologues have become more important and necessary. I mean, that pox on him that first good prologue writ. Apparently the prologues weren't necessarily all that good in the past. Now people are really expecting them to be. And that certainly was the case in the Restoration. I mean, sometimes they advertised the prologue, in bigger letters than the play if it was really successful. So that's part of it, I suppose. I wonder if he's also saying that, I'm not sure about this, each play a feast for epicures, and that each day. I wonder if there was actually a bigger repertoire in the past. People expected a new play every day, and now I think he's saying there are fewer new plays, fewer good plays, even though there's a more discerning audience now.
Yeah, well, maybe if you're at this end of history, there are so many old plays that you might want to revive or use that the pressure to keep writing a new play isn't as great. And it is a shame that we just don't have the kind of useful data that we have in that comes from Henslow of what actually is the rate of turnover of plays at this point, or pretty much any point, and what different theatre companies are doing. So maybe this is a clue that actually that incessant turnover of plays actually evens out a little bit later in the period. Okay, it's interesting. It's really interesting. We will definitely record it and do something on it for the podcast, but it's probably not going to end up in a production anytime soon, as it's a little too specific for general use. So let's get into the play itself. Act 1, Scene 1. Enter, as to a duel, Samorat, Philatel, and Torcular.
But, my lords, may not this harsh business yet be left undone? Must you hate me because I love your sister? And can you hate at no less rate than death?
No, at no less. Thou art the blaster of our fortunes, the envious cloud that darkens all our day. While she thus prodigally and fondly throws away her love on thee, she has not wherewithal to pay a debt unto the prince.
Is this all?
Faith, what if, in short, we do not think you worthy of her?
I swear that shall not make a quarrel. I think so too. Have urged it often to myself. Against myself have sworn as oft to her. Pray let this satisfy.
Sure, Torcular, he thinks we come to talk. Look you, sir.
Draws.
And brother, since his friend has failed him, do you retire?
Excuse me, Philatel. I have an equal interest in this, and fortune shall decide it.
It will not need. He's come.
Enter Orsabrin.
Protect me! What are these? The brothers of the highway?
A stranger by his habit.
And by his looks. Gentlemen. Sir, will you make one? We want a fourth.
Should be robbed with a trick now.
My lords, excuse me, this is not civil. In what concerns myself, none but myself must suffer.
A duel by this light. Now, as his modesty and t'others forwardness warmed me.
Goes towards them.
Gentlemen, I wear a sword and commonly in readiness. If you want one, speak, sir. I do not fear much suffering.
You are noble, sir. I know not how to invite you to it. Yet there is justice on my side. And since you please to be a witness to our actions, 'tis fit you know our story.
No story, sir, I beseech you. The cause is good enough as 'tis. May be spoiled in the telling.
Come, we trifle then.
'Tis impossible to preserve, I see, my honor and respect to her. And since you know this too, my lord, it is not handsome in you thus to press me. But come.
Torcular beckons to Orsabrin.
Oh, stand you, sir.
Exeunt Torcular and Orsabrin. Philatel and Samorat fight.
In posture still.
Samorat receives a slight wound.
Ye are mortal then, it seems.
Thou hast undone thyself, rash man, for with this blood thou hast let out a spirit will vex thee to thy grave.
And they fight again. Samorat takes away Philatel's sword and takes breath and then gives it to him.
I'm cool again. Here, my lord, and let this present bind your friendship.
Yes, thus.
and runs at him.
Treacherous and low!
Enter Orsabrin.
I've drilled my gentleman. I've made as many holes in him as would sink a ship royal in sight of the haven. Oh, now!
Samorat upon his knee.
What? Oh, there's another going that way too. Now have I forgotten which side I'm on? No matter. I'll help the weakest. There's some justice in that.
The villain sure has slain my brother. If I have friends above, guide now my hand unto his heart.
Orsabrin puts it by, runs at him. Samorat steps in.
Hold, noble youth, destroy me not with kindness. Men will say he could have killed me, and that injustice should not be. For honour's sake, leave us together.
'Tis not my business fighting.
Puts up.
The employment's yours, sir. You need me. I'm within your call.
The
And
gods
exit Orsabrin.
the gods reward thee. Now, Philatel, thy worst.
They fight again, and close. Samorat forces his sword. Enter Orsabrin.
Hell and the Furies have broke loose upon us. Shift for yourself, sir.
Fly into the woods several ways, pursued by thieves in devil's habits. Enter Torcular, weak with bleeding.
It will not be. My body is a jade. I feel it tire and languish under me. Those thoughts came to my soul like screech owls to a sick man's window.
Enter thieves back again.
Here! I'm fetched away alive!
They bind him and carry him away, exuent. Enter Orsabrin.
Now the good gods preserve my senses right, but they were never in more danger. In the name of doubt, what could this be? Sure, 'twas a conjurer I dealt withal. And while I thought him busy at his prayers, 'twas at his circle, levying this regiment. Here they are again!
Enter Samorat.
Friend, stranger, noble youth.
Here!
Shift the place. The wood is dangerous. As you love safety, follow me.
And they exuent. Enter Philatel.
They have left the place, and yet I cannot find the body anywhere. Maybe he did not kill him then, but he recovered strength and reached the town. It may not be not, too. Oh, that this hour could be called back again. But 'tis too late, and time must cure the wound that's given by fate.
Exit Philatel. Enter Samorat and Orsabrin.
In the shape of lions too, sometimes, and bears.
Often, sir.
Pray, a riddle.
The wiser sort do think them thieves, which but assume these forms to rob more powerfully.
Why does not then the state set out some forces and suppress them?
It often has, sir, but without success.
How so?
During the time those levies are abroad, one of them appears. There have been that have attempted underground, but of those, as of the dead, there has been no return.
Strange.
The common people think them a race of honest and familiar devils, for they do hurt to none unless resisted. They seldom take away but with exchange, and to the poor they often give, return the hurt and sick, recovered, reward, or punish as they do find cause.
How cause?
Why, sir, they blind still those they take, and make them tell the stories of their lives, which known they do accordingly.
You make me wonder, sir. How long is since they've troubled you?
It was immediately upon the great deciding day fought twixt the two pretending families, the Tamorens and the Orsabrins.
Ah, Orsabrin?
But that, sir, that story sad and tedious. We're entering now the town, a place less safe than were the woods, since Torcular is slain.
How, sir?
Yes, he was the brother to the prince's mistress, the loved one, too. If we do prize ourselves at any rate, we must embark and change the clime. There is no safety here. The little stay we make must be in some dark corner of the town, from whence the day, hurried to the other world, will sally out to order for our journey. that I am forced to this, it grieves me not, but gentle youth, that you should, for my sake.
Sir, who's not a thought on that? A storm at sea threw me on land, and now a storm on land drives me to sea again.
Still noble.
And excellent. Okay, quite a lot happened there. This is going to take a little while to unpack. Excitement, action, really wild, random things. And it's I quite like the fact that it's. Yes, there's a little bit of info dumping at the very beginning, but actually they do most of the info dumping after the action has occurred, and it's like random things are happening, but they're quite exciting, interesting things, and they're sort of then they take an in-breath and say, would you like me to explain the backstory? Yes, that'd be nice. Thank you very much. But let's just start with that setup of it's just like we're here to fight a duel. Oh, the second hasn't arrived. Oh, there's some guy over there. Would you like to join in? Oh, we're having a game of duel over here. Would you like to join us? Yeah, all right. It's also so random. I don't recall duels functioning quite that way. I don't recall them being quite so open to anyone just popping in. But you know.
There is another one we'll read at some point that has this. I won't give him the name because you don't like me to give things away.
No spoilers for any ones we haven't done. But yeah, it's jolly fun. And of course, obviously, it gives anyone who the fight coordinators so much fun. They got fight after fight. You got people having fight off stage, and then comes on saying, "Oh, they're dead." So you're going, "Oh yeah, of course they're not." If it happened off stage and you claim someone's been horribly mutilated, I'm going to go with that didn't happen because I've seen these plays before. Aliki.
I love Orsabrin's sort of masked vigilante look. I come in on this fight. Oh, he's outnumbered. That's not fair. I'll fight with him. Goes off to have the other fight. Comes back. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'll go with the loser. I'll help him.
Yes, I and you get the impression that he's sort of mirroring the audience's thoughts of going, I can't remember who's fighting who or why. Just, I'll fight him. That seems like fun. But all the cliches, the sword dropped and he just has a breather. When it says he takes a bit of a rest, I kind of expect him to get out some sandwiches and just and maybe have a banana and then starts fighting again. It's just that sort of action that I respond to.
Yes, it feels to me they open with a really crowd pleasing scene to keep everyone in the building.
Yeah, it's all the money up front, isn't it?
What about this random gang of thieves?
Yes.
What's all that about, please?
Well, I think these are the title goblins, I suspect. So if anyone's ever seen the film Night Creatures, I'm expecting Peter Cushing to turn up any moment now. Aidan.
Oh, no, sorry, I was just laughing.
Yeah, you're just, Alan.
I'm just wondering whether this has got some sort of lineal connection with Robin Hood. Well, we've had one or two what could be references to the Robin Hood story.
Well, general people in the question is we don't know the motivations of the people taking it, but they do have a backstory. I'm like this whole thing of our people say that they take you back and they demand your life story. And it's just like they blindfold you and you have to tell them a good yarn. And I'm going, maybe that's going to happen in a few minutes. Aliki.
It's a really fun little piece of exposition too. They come on going, and you say that they can turn into animals?
Yeah. Really, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but
Yeah. But the other bit of exposition is really quite effectively brought in. Shouldn't we tell this guy why he's fighting with us, since we're roping him into our duel? Yeah, well, we'll start, but it's kind of a long story. Oh, well, you just get bits of it. It's really quite good, tantalizing the audience with dribbits of information.
Yeah, and also just the very opening of, it's like, oh, you're not good enough for our sister. He said, well, I keep saying that myself. I mean, can we just talk about this? Do we have to fight a duel? Yes, we do. Okay. Really? Can I just not write an email?
No, an email.
Oh.
Oh,
right.
Rob, you're killing me.
Right.
This
Sorry.
duel could have been an email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we have to come into the office? Okay. Right.
Philatel is obviously the inferior swordsman, but he's so determined.
Yeah. There's a sort of scrappy-do quality to it. Any more for any more on scene one? I'm calling it scene one. It's sort of technically broken up into a series of mini scenes. The stage is left bare a number of times, but because it's sort of this constant whipping in and out, it does feel like one single unit of action. I'm just saying that just in case future editions does actually break this down into lots of different things, and people are wondering why we're about to go on to scene 2 when we're actually on scene 7. But I'm assuming these scene numberings are actually authoritative, as it were. Aidan, were you waving?
So I was just, the Scrappy-Doo analogy feels especially apposite there in that the classic scene of the corridor with people running in and out, and suddenly there's a monster that you haven't, or thieves and goblins, titular goblins that you haven't seen already. It feels like it's setting up this world of we the players know this is all going to be pretty ridiculous, really.
Yes, and it's probably going to turn out to be Old Man Withers from the amusement park, isn't it?
Exactly.
Which is a trope that is incredibly old, actually. Okay, well, let's dive into Act 1, Scene 2 then. Enter Nassurat and Pellegrin.
Why, suppose 'tis to a wench, you would not go with me, would you?
To choose.
Then there's no remedy.
Flings down his hat, unbuttons himself, and draws.
What does it mean?
Why, since I cannot leave you alive, I will try to leave you dead.
I thank you kindly, sir, very kindly. Now the Sedgley curse upon thee, and the great fiend ride through thee, booted and spurred with a scythe on his neck. Pox on thee, I'll see thee hanged first. Sfoot, you shall make none of your fine point of honour up at my charge. Take yourself, if you be so hot. Be doing.
Now exit Pellegrin.
I am got free of him at last. There was no other way. It's been as troublesome as a woman that would be loved, whether a man would or not, and has watched me as if he'd been my creditor's sergeant. If they should have dispatched in the meantime, there would be fine options of me. I must cut his throat in earnest, if it should be so.
Exit Nassurat. End of scene. Okay.
What?
Does anyone get the impression that you've just you missed a bit? This player's doing that quite a lot. So
I've heard of Nadia Rays, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Lois.
I think Nassurat must have been the fourth person who was supposed to be in that duel. That's why he's saying if they should have dispatched in the meantime, there would be fine opinions of me.
Yeah.
But who the other guy is in this?
He feels like he's wandered in from another play, you know.
Yeah.
Pilgrim, maybe.
Well, I'm sure we'll gather some more data on this, but the play is it's sort of throwing us down. It's like a duel has just happened, a load of antics, and then someone comes on and says, "Starting a duel," and it's like, no, not another one. We just did the duel. See. Okay, I'm going to take that one as put a pin in that for later, and hoping more data will come to us as we do Act 1, Scene 3. Enter Tamoren and Peridor with other thieves and Torcular. A horn sounds.
A prize!
Some duel, sir, was fought this morning. This, weakened with loss of blood, we took. The rest escaped.
He's fitter for our surgeon than for us. Hereafter we'll examine him.
Again a shout.
A prize!
They set him down. Enter Ardellan and Piramont.
Bring them, bring them, bring them in. See if they have mortal sin. Pinch them as you dance about. Pinch them till the truth come out.
What art?
Extremely poor and miserable.
'Tis well, 'tis well. Proceed, nobody will take that away from me. Fear not. What country?
Francelia.
My name?
Ardellan.
And thine?
Piramont.
Thy story?
What story?
Thy life, thy life.
And they pinch him.
Oh, hold, you shall have it. It was upon the great defeat given by the Tamorens upon the Orsabrins that the old prince, for safety of the young, committed him unto the trust of Garadan and some few servants more, amongst whom I filled a place.
Ha! Garadan?
Yes.
Speak out and set me nearer, so void the place. Proceed.
We put to sea, but had scarce lost the sight of land, ere we were made prey to pirates. There Garadan, resisting the first board, changed life with death, with him the servants too. All but myself and Piramont under these pirates ever since was Orsabrin brought up, and into several countries did they carry him.
Knew Orsabrin himself?
Oh, no, his spirit was too great. We durst not tell him anything, but waited for some accident might throw us on Francelia, about which we hovered often, and we were near it now, but heaven decreed it otherwise.
He sighs.
Why dost thou sigh?
Why do I sigh indeed? For tears cannot recall him. Last night, about the second watch, the winds broke loose and vexed our ship so long that it began to reel and totter, and like a drunken man, took in so fast his liquor that it sunk down in the place.
How did you escape?
I bound myself unto a mast, and did advise my master to do so, for which he struck me only, and said I did consult too much with fear.
'Tis a sad story. Within there, let them have wine and fire, but hark you.
And he whispers, enter the thieves with a poet.
A prize, a prize, a prize.
Set him down.
And for the blue, give him a cup of sack, 'twill mend his hue.
As I live. Pinch him. Pinch him. What art?
I am a poet, a poor dabbler in rhyme.
Come, confess. Confess.
I do confess, I want money.
By the description, he's a poet indeed. Well, proceed.
And pinches him.
What do you mean? Pox on you. Prithee, let me alone. Some candles here, and fill us t'other quart, and fill us. Rogue, drawer, t'other quart. Some small beer, and for the blue, give him a cup of sack, 'twill mend his hue.
Set him by till he's sober. Come, let's go see our duelist dressed.
And exuent. Okay, well, as promised in the previous scene, the goblins do blindfold you and demand you to do some exposition. We demand you
How
to
convenient.
explain some of the plot to the audience through this wafer-thin conceit. But there's some really lovely stuff here. I do love this, Tamoren's the whole pinching them as you dance about. Pinch them till the truth come out. I feel that needs to be used more in day-to-day life. The whole pinching. I just love the way it's just, well, we're going to pinch them. It's like, the most terrifying thing you can do. Get out the feather duster. Tickle him till he confesses. So, yeah, this isn't a serious play, is it?
No. I'm just waiting for somebody to bring in the comfy chair and the cup of tea with the biscuit.
Yes.
Cardinal Biggles.
Not
Exactly.
a comfy chair. Lois.
I just noticed that Tamoren said something like, set me nearer. Does that mean he's an elderly blind man or something?
I don't know. You're right. We have sort of this. the thieves are sent out so he can listen to the story by himself. Also, so that the thieves can come in. And then it's just this idea the thieves just keep going. We found someone else. Prize. What does everyone get prizes? Aidan.
He was. Maybe I'm wrong, but Tamoren was mentioned in the previous scene as having been killed in the past, right? So maybe he's somehow unable to get himself closer. Maybe he was horribly injured. Would be my guess as an answer to that.
Yeah, there may be more data on that later on, but yeah, that seems like that's within the area. I mean, again, it if they are pretending to be goblins rather than actual, they really commit, don't they? They're committing to the bit, and I respect that. If you are going to be
actors before the discipline.
Yeah, I mean, what is this? They're just all larpers, aren't they? So Aliki.
So both things started with the civil conflict between Orsabrin and Tamoren, right? The families Orsabrin and Tamoren. Aha! I can see a resolution looming here. I have some guesses as to how this play might end.
There's no sense of stakes here in the sense of I'm not worried about the resolution of this play. I'm not worried that. I kind of think everyone's going to make it. I mean, you can never tell, even with comedies in early modern period. Someone might die horribly and still be technically a comedy. But yeah, I think they're all going to be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other thoughts before we go into scene 4? It's packing it in, this act. It's not a long play, but it's packing it in. Okay. Yeah,
I wonder if there's like a lot of doubling in costume changes because like the poet just seems to be there as kind of a gag. Oh yeah, he's a poet. I bet he's poor.
Yeah. I do confess, I do want money. Yes, Tish. I mean, I'm sure we've had that gag before, pretty much in exactly that wording. So,
okay, go. Okay.
Happy days. Right, Act 1, Scene 4 then. Enter a tailor and 2 sergeants.
He's something tall, and for his chin it has no bush below, a little wool, as much as an unripe peach doth wear, just enough to speak him drawing towards a man.
Is he of fury? Will he foin and give the mortal touch?
Oh no, he seldom wears his sword.
Topo is the word if he do. Thy debt, my little myrmidon?
1.5 yards, I assure you, without abatement.
'Tis wondrous well. Is he retired into his house of pleasure?
One of these he's entered. 'Tis but a little waiting. You shall find me at the next tavern.
No, stand close. I hear one coming.
Exit tailor. Enter Orsabrin.
This house is sure no seminary for Lucretias. And the matron was so over-diligent. When I asked for meat or drink, she looked as if I had mistook myself or called for a wrong thing. Well, 'tis but a night, and part of it I'll spend in seeing of the town, so famous in our tales at sea.
Look, muffled and as melancholy after it as a gamester upon a loss. Upon him!
How now, my friends? Why do you use me thus?
Quietly, 'twill be your best way.
Best way for what?
Why, 'tis your best way, because there will be no other. Topo is the word, and you must along.
Is that the word? Why then, this is my sword.
And they run away, shouting,
Murder! They've killed the prince's officers! Murder!
I must not stay. I hear them swarm.
Exit Orsabrin. Enter Constable and people.
Where is he?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was done. Here. Oh, man mender. He has roached me in so many places. All the liquor in my body will run out.
Then, good sooth, neighbor, he has tapped you at the wrong end, too. He has been busy with you here behind, as one would say. Lend a hand, some of you, and the rest follow me.
Exeunt. Enter Orsabrin.
Still pursued? Which way now? I see no passage. I must attempt this wall. Oh, a lucky door! And open!
Exit Orsabrin. He enters immediately again.
Where am I now? Garden and a handsome house. Be thy will, a porch too, and unmade. Twill be the better lodging of the two.
Goes to the porch. Enter Phemilia.
Oh, welcome! Welcome, sir! My lady hath been in such frights for you.
For me?
And thought you would not come tonight.
Truth, I might very well have failed her.
She's in the gallery, alone in the dark.
Good, very good.
And is so melancholy. Have you shut the garden doors? Oh, come. I'll bring you to her. Enter. Enter?
Yes, I will enter. He who has lost himself makes no great venter.
Excellent. So, out of the frying pan into the fire. It's just like the just completely unconnected things just keep attacking him. It's like this. You know, presumably has absolutely nothing to do with this debt that he's being called in for, and you know, it just happens to be wandering past. Then and I'm fascinated by this exit and straight on again. It's like he's gone through one door and now he's in a different space by coming back on the stage. So, which is, you know, the kind of stagecraft that we think of today as, you know, the kind of thing you can do, you know, turning on a drop of a hat, which we don't necessarily think of happening in the early modern period, actually. So that's quite interesting that is acceptable. Whether he enters from a different door or if he just literally nips in one and straight back on again in another. But yeah, he's now in a garden on a drop of a hat, and that's interesting. But it's really fun because again, it's just like, oh, he's landed on his feet. He's going to have some lodging and possibly some fun times. We shall see. Alan.
Would so a flat in the centre of the stage be appropriate to this period? Because effectively, if he goes from outside of the wall to inside of the wall.
Well, it's staging, you know, stage sets, not sets per se, but settings. Things are not unknown. I don't get the impression that it's asking for that, and that might be a bit much for what they're trying to do here. In the absence of any auspice, I don't know what the mechanics of the space or what this is designed for. But yeah, other thoughts, Lois, and then Lynn.
I'm pretty sure I've read other plays where this happens. Somebody goes out one door from one place, and then when he comes in the other door, he's in a different place. And I think it's pretty easy to imagine that.
Yeah. Lynn.
Yeah, Orsabrin is a little bit of like a target in a shooting gallery. You know, he's just like off, on, and like he's in the duel, he keeps going off and coming back on. I mean, I think this has got to be a gag by now. And my goodness, is he just like a trouble magnet or what? Like, this stuff just keeps happening to him. Like,
yeah. Yeah, and we go into the next act, and he literally comes straight on again. Now, we can infer possibly that there is supposed to be a mini interval break between the acts. But otherwise, it's just like he just walks off and he walks straight back on into the next scene. And so in that sense, I'm not worried about this as a transition because it feels like it's been established now that the moment you're off that stage, the moment you're back on again, you're just somewhere else, and the action is just flowing like that. It's very filmic in that sense. It feels very farcical, and I have no idea where this play is going. I know how it's going to end, but I've no idea how we're going to get there because I literally don't know what the next scene is going to do from scene to scene. It's just like some people come on and stuff will happen. I am here for this. Anything else before we go into Act 2? No? Okay, let's crack on. Act 2, Scene 1. Enter Sabrina, I'm presuming not a teenage witch, and Orsabrin.
Oh, welcome. Welcome as open air to prisoners. I've had such fears for you.
Soft as lover's language. She spoke too prettily. Now have I forgot all the danger I was in.
What have you done today, my better part?
A rogue. I could say the finest things to her, methinks, but then she would discover me. This way, will be to fall to quiet.
And kisses her.
How now, my Samorat? What saucy heat hath stolen into thy blood and heightened thee to this? I fear you are not well.
'Tis a platonic. I cannot so much as talk that way neither.
Why are you silent, sir? Come, I know you've been in the field today.
How does she know that?
If you have killed my brother, speak. It is no new thing that true love should be unfortunate.
It was her brother I killed then. Would I were with my devils again? I got well rid of them. That will be here impossible.
Enter Phemilia.
Oh, madam! Madam! Oh, that's a different voice. Hang on. Oh, madam! Madam, you are undone! The garden walls are scaled. A flood of people are entering the house.
God, why this variety of ruin yet?
Oh, 'tis so. The feet of justice, like to those of time, move quick, and will destroy, I fear, as sure. Oh, sir, what will you do? There's no venturing forth. My closet is the safest. Enter there, whilst I go down and meet their fury. Hinder the search, if possible.
Exit Sabrina.
A closet? Yea, where's that? And if I could find it, what should I do there? She will return. I will venture out.
Exit Orsabrin. Enter the Prince, Philatel, Phontrel, company, and music. Music enters as well. I don't know who Philatel is.
There's a random me.
Who is
the
Philatel?
light is theirs. 'Twill make them more secure. Upon my life, he'll visit her tonight.
Music plays and sings.
Nor she nor any lesser light appears. The calm and silence about the place persuades me she's asleep.
It may not be, but hold, it is enough. Let us retire. Behind this pillar, Phontrel, is thy place. As thou didst love thy master, show thy care. You to the other gate. There's thy ladder.
Excellent. Enter Sabrina.
Come forth, my Samorat, come forth. Our fears were false. It was the prince with music. Samorat! Samorat! He sleeps. Samorat! Or else he's gone to find me out in the gallery. Samorat! Samorat! Ha! It must be so.
Exit Sabrina. Enter Orsabrin.
It's full of thresholds and trapdoors. I've been in the cellar where the maids lie to. I laid my hand, groping for my way, on one of them, and she began to squeak. I were at sea again in the storm. Oh, a door. Devil with the porter, and kept the gate eyed out.
Enter Samorat.
Guarded, taken in a trap. Nay, I will out, and there's no other but this.
Retires and draws, runs at him. Another pass, they close. Who's Samorat?
Your pardon, it's me.
Ah.
I was being prince and going away. Sorry. I'll find it. Give me a second.
Retires, draws, runs at him. Another pass.
Philatel in ambush on my life.
Enter Sabrina, fair familiar with a light.
Where should he be? Good heavens, what a spectacle is this? My Samorat! Some apparition, sure.
They discover one another by the light, throw away their weapons and embrace.
My noble friend, what angry and malicious planet governed at this point of time?
I wonder, does grow higher.
That which governs ever. I seldom knew it better.
It does amaze me, sir, to find you here. How entered you this place?
Forced by unruly men in the street.
Now the mistake is plain.
Are you not hurt?
No, but you bleed.
I do indeed. 'Tis not here. This is a scratch. It is within. To see this beauty. For by all circumstance, it was her brother whom my unlucky sword found out today.
Oh, my too cruel fancy.
And she weeps.
It was indeed thy sword, but not thy fault. I am the cause of all these ills. Why do you weep, Sabrina?
Unkind unto thyself and me. The tempest this sad news has raised within me, I would have laid with tears, but thou disturbedst me. O Samorat, hadst thou consulted but with love as much as honour, this had never been.
I have no love for thee that has not had so strict a union with honour still, that in all things they were concerned alike, and if there could be a division made, it would be found honour had here the leaner share. 'Twas love that told me 'twas unfit that you should love a coward.
Ah, these handsome words are now as if one bound up wounds with silk or with fine knots, which do not help the cure or make it heal the sooner. O Samorat, this accident lies on our love like to some foul disease, which though it kill it not, yet will it destroy the beauty, disfigure it so that 'twill look ugly to the world hereafter.
Must then the acts of fate be crimes of men, and shall a death be he pulled upon himself be laid on others? Remember, sweet, how often you have said that in the face of heaven that 'twas no love which length of time or cruelty of chance could lessen or remove. Oh, kill me not that way, Sabrina. This is the nobler. Take it, and give it entrance anywhere.
Kneels and presents his sword.
But here, for you so fill that place that you must wound yourself.
So slight a thing, so bankrupt, so unanswerable in this world, that, being principally in the debt, another must be called upon, and I not once looked after. Madam, why do you throw away your tears on one that's irrecoverable?
Why? Therefore, sir, because he's irrecoverable.
But why on him? He did not make him so.
I do confess my anger is unjust, but not my sorrow, sir. Forgive these tears, my Samorat. The debts of nature must be paid, though from the stock of love. Should they not, sir?
Yes, but thus the precious minutes pass, and time, ere I have breathed the sighs due to our parting, will be calling for me.
Parting?
Oh, yes, Sabrina, I must part, as day does from the world, not to return till night be gone, till this dark cloud be over. Here to be found were foolishly to make a present of my life unto mine enemy. Retire into thy chamber, fair, there thou shalt know all.
I know too much already.
Exeunt enter Phontrel.
Hold rope for me, and then hold rope for him. Why, this is the wisdom of the law now. A prince loses a subject, and does not think himself paid for the loss, till he loses another. Well, I will do my endeavour to make him a saver, for this was Samorat.
And exit Phontrel, who I suspect only came on to help bridge the gap between the next scene. Okay. Complications, confusions, coincidence. I think it's fair to say there are a lot of coincidences happening in this play. Again, kind of fine. Don't really care. It feels like they're trying to introduce emotion and character, and it's just like, why? Why are you trying to do that? I'm not here for that. It's just like, yeah, the moment you start doing that, my interest slightly takes a tumble off the edge of the play, and it's just like, can I have some sword fighting, please? I wanted more bedroom farce of them running around corners and going, which was quite enjoyable. Lois.
I think Suckling had probably read some Spanish drama. I mean, as I recall, most of the Spanish plays seem to involve this kind of thing, somebody being dragged into a house, a servant mistaking somebody for the lover of the person in the house, all that kind of stuff, and people creeping into a house and spying on other people in the house. I mean, houses that are supposedly hard to get into, but everybody seems to manage to get into them.
Yeah, and it isn't helpful, of course, that so many of these people have remarkably similar, confusing names, so that I have actually got slightly lost as to who some people are, and that's a bit of a problem. That's not a problem on stage per se, but it is like I have lost track of who Orsabrin's killed, why, how, which direction, who's related to who's somebody else's tennis partner. It's just got very, very confusing. Aliki, then Alan.
I think Orsabrin thinks he killed the guy who's been taken by the goblins, but he has not actually killed him.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm working the assumption
everybody
that
else
nobody's
thinks that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that nobody's actually died.
Yeah. Right.
Alan.
Yeah, that was roughly what I was thinking, that he's got the guilt, but he hasn't actually perpetrated the deed he's accusing himself.
No, because he's terribly noble. He's obviously, really great guy. What a guy. So that's fine. Okay, let's finish the act. Act 2, Scene 2. Enter Samorat and Orsabrin bleeding.
Let it bleed on. You shall not stir, I swear.
Now by the friendship that I owe thee, and the gods beside, I will. Noble youth, were there no danger in the wound, yet would the loss of blood make thee unfit for travel. My servants wait me for directions. With them, my surgeon. I'll bring him instantly. Pray, go back.
And exeunt. Enter Philatel with guard. He places them at the door.
There. You to the other gate. The rest follow me.
Exeunt. Enter Orsabrin with Sabrina.
Hark, a noise, sir. The tread's too loud to be my Samorats.
Enter the searchers to them.
Which way? Which way?
Some villainies in hand. Step in here, sir. Quick, quick.
Locks him in her closet. Enter Philatel and guard. They pass over the stage.
Look everywhere.
He dragging out his sister.
Protect thy brother's murderer. Tell me where thou hast hid him, or by my father's ashes I will search in every vein thou hast about thee for him.
Orsabrin, within the closet, bounces thrice at the door. Boing, boing, boing. It flies open.
Such villainy should be, the gods would lend unto a single arm such strength. It should have power to punish an army, such as thou art.
Oh, are you here, sir?
Yes, I am here, sir.
And they fight.
Oh, good.
Kill her.
Sabrina interposes.
Oh, save thyself, fair excellence, and leave me to my fate.
The guard comes behind him and catches hold of his arms.
Oh, base!
So bring him. One. The other is not far.
Exeunt. Enter Sabrina with Phemilia.
Run, Phemilia, to the garden walls and meet my Samorat. Tell him, tell him anything. Charge him by all our loves. Ye instantly take horse and put to sea. There is more safety in a storm than where my brother is.
Exeunt. End of act. Oh, tell him anything. It's just like, there's no point explaining the plot now.
Yeah.
Now, I again, being idiot in a hurry, I don't really know why any of this is happening, but it's entertaining anyway. And I do love the way the Philatel just goes, "Oh, are you here, sir?" And it's just, "Yes, I am here, sir." Ooh. And it's just, so we meet again. Next time, I will not be so lenient.
They all seem to care so much that it makes you like, well, I don't mind why. I'll find out later. It's the curiosity is great.
No,
I sort of know why it's all happening, but it's just like the connective tissue isn't quite landing because of the way we're reading it. Really, it's not actually anything else. Sister, overly protective brothers, duel on top of duel on top of random dude. That's sort of all we need to know. It's very exciting though. And the stage directions. I love the way that Orsabrin's just sort of got locked in the closet and he has to smash the door down. I mean, do we sort of see inside the closet? Is there a sort of like a closet front so you could see him trying
the
to?
door just bulged 3 times.
Yeah,
Go,
you know.
I
You see his
very
fist come
specific.
through. Sorry, Lynn. I'll go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confused about the plot a little bit, but I'm not confused about the characterization, which I'm kind of enjoying. I mean, Orsabrin is very noble and got lots of integrity, and the boyfriend Samorat, he loves her. He just wants to, he's a good lover, and he's also keeping his physical distance. He's preserving her honor, and he's like Mr. Honor. And Philatel is just such a feckless weenie. He can't win a duel on his own, so he has to bring his thugs with him, and it's like,
yeah, it's not fair. I keep fighting. They keep winning. I'm supposed to be bad.
Cool.
I'm calling my dad on you.
Yes, I'm calling my mom. It's just like.
Yes, I rather like Sabrina. She's got quite a lot of agency here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and Sabrina is active, and even the maid is not a lot of lines, but giving you something to play there, Sarah, with your vast amount of dialogue that you've got today. I thought your searches were very good, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I worked very hard on them.
Yeah.
But...
Any other thoughts before we go into Act 3? Okay, let's go. Let's finish this. I think there are a lot of little scenes, so I might truncate some of these together. Act 3, Scene 1. Enter Peridor and other thieves. Stramador is led in. They dance about him and sing.
A prize! A prize! A prize!
Bring him forth, bring him forth. Welcome, welcome, mortal wight, to the mansion of the night. Good or bad, thy life discover, truly, all thy deeds declare. For about thee spirits hover that can tell what they are. Pinch him if he speaks not true, pinch him, black and blue. What art thou?
I was a man.
Of whence?
The court.
Whither now bound?
To my own house.
Thy name?
Stramador.
Oh, you fill a place about his grace and keep out men of parts, do you not?
Yes.
A foolish utensil of state, which, like old plate upon a gaudy days, brought forth to make a show, and that is all. For of no use ye are. You'd best deny this.
Oh, no.
Or that you do want wit, and then talk loud to make that pass for it? You think there is no wisdom but in form, nor any knowledge like to that of whispers.
Right.
Then you can hate and fawn upon a man at the same time, and dare not urge the vices of another. You are so foul yourself. So the prince seldom hears truth.
Oh, very seldom.
And did you never give his grace odd counsels, and when you saw they did not prosper, persuade him to take them on himself?
Yes, often.
Depths of sulphur quick and flaming oils. This crime is new and will deserve it. He has inverted all the rule of state, confounded policy. There is some reason why a subject should suffer for the errors of his prince, but why a prince should bear the faults of ministers? No, none at all. Cauldrons of brimstone ye there.
Great judge of this infernal place, allow him yet the mercy of the court.
Kind devil.
Let him be boiled in scalding lead a while, to inure and spare him for the other.
Oh, hear me.
Stay. Now I have better thought upon it. He shall to earth again, for villainy is catching and will spread. He will enlarge our empire much, then we're sure of him at any time. So 'tis enough. Where's our governor?
And excellent. I kind of like the idea that maybe that they're just all Foley artists, and literally not they're not it's like all of this is just they're just sitting there knitting, and they're doing the thing. Oh, let's boil him in oil. Oh yeah, oh bubble 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 bubble. Lynn.
Lois, do you know when George Villiers, Duke of Buckingham, was assassinated?
I think it was it 1629, something like that.
Yeah, he's
Oh, he'd have
dead
been
by
dead
now.
9
He's
years.
definitely dead. Yeah.
Yeah, because this sounds like a reference to him, a bad advisor, and the king to take.
There's always a bad advisor. I mean, they're always being blamed. It's never the case.
Yeah, but
always
in this case, Charles was so dedicated to his friend. He's like, no, it wasn't him. It was me. That's what I've heard is that he took bad advice from Buckingham and then tried to protect him by taking responsibility for the fallout when it was Buckingham's fault all along. This just reminds me.
The person who's advising him most is probably his wife, and they're not making anything of that. But that's something that later was used to attack Charles, that he was listening to a woman all the time.
Well, and a Catholic.
Yeah. Whereas here that we do have a song and dance number. I mean, this play is really putting all the the stuff up front. It's lots of fight scenes, lots of singing thieves, and they're having a right old party, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, interesting to see how this shakes out, because it's like like the poet and the king's advisor here, are they like all the same person in a different costume? It's just like they only appear, they're all one-shot wonders, and it's just really for transitions.
Yes, which of these is going to turn out to be plot important? Because of course you do get the impression that the goblins are collecting data. They are collecting useful information. So some of these people may be useful, and some of these people may just be for comic effect. And the fact that this plot line hasn't really gone anywhere yet. It's just sort of bubbling in the background. So we shall see. We go to Act 3, Scene 2. Enter Gaoler, Samorat, Nassurat, Pellegrin, and 3 others in disguise.
Is Air Curls naturally a handsome youth?
The same. Is there no speaking with him? He owes me a trifling sum.
Sure, sir. The debt is something desperate. There is no hopes he will be brought to clear with the world. He struck me for persuading him to make even with Evan. He is surely as an old lion and as sullen as a bullfinch. He never ate since he was taken, gentlemen.
I must needs speak with him. Hearken thy ear.
Not for all the world.
Nay, I do but motion such a thing.
Is this a business, gentlemen? Fare you well.
There's no choice of ways, then.
And they run after the Gaoler, draw their daggers, and set on to his breast.
Stir not. If thou but think'st a noise, or breathest aloud, thou breathest thy last. So, bind him now.
They bind the Gaoler.
Undo, quickly, his jerkin, his hat.
Nassurat?
What will you do? None of these bits will serve. There's not an eye of white in them.
Pull the silvered ones on his and stick them in the other.
Cut them out. The bush will suit well enough with a grace still.
They put a false beard on the Gaoler and gag him.
Desperate wounds must have desperate cures. Extremes must thus be served. You know your parts?
Their exit in the Gaoler's habit.
Fear not, let us alone.
And they sing a catch because...
I don't know who's is that Nassurat still? Or?
Oh, go for it. Why not?
Some drink, what boy? Some drink. Fill it up to the brink. When the pots cry clink and the pockets chink, then 'tis a merry world. To the best, have at her, and a pox take the woman hater. The Prince of Darkness is a gentleman. Mahu is his name. I nearly got quacked there. How do you, sir? Good faith. He looks like an oyez.
Or as if he's overstrained himself at a deep note in a ballad.
What think you of an oyster at a low ebb? Some liquor for him. You will not be a pimp for life, you rogue, nor hold a door to save a gentleman. You are... Sorry, what is he, Pellegrin? If you love me, let's stifle him and say it was a sudden judgment upon him for swearing. The posture will confirm it.
We're in excellent humour. Let's have another bottle. And give out that Anne, my wife, is dead. Shall I, gentlemen?
Rare rogue in buckram, let me bite thee. Before me thou shalt go out wit and upon as good terms as some of those in the ballads too.
Shall I so? Why then, future for the guise. Saints shall accrue, and ours shall be the black-eyed beauties of the time. I'll tickle you for old ends of plays.
They sing.
Around,
around.
Thankfully, there is a knocking at the door.
Somebody's at the door. Prithee, Sirrah, try thy skill.
Who's there?
Enter a messenger.
One Sturgelot, a jailer here?
Such a one there was, my friend, but he's gone above an hour ago. Now, did this rogue whisper in his heart? That's a lie, and for that very reason I'll cut his throat.
No, prithee now, for thinking, thou shalt not take the pains, the law shall do it.
How?
Marry, we'll write it over. When we're gone, he joined in the plot, and put himself into this posture merely to disguise it to the world.
Excellent. Here's to thee for that conceit. Oh, we should have made rare statesmen. We are so witty in our mischief. Another song, and so let's go. It will be time.
And they sing. I'll say Nassurat sing the first verse and Pellegrin sing the second.
Okay. A health to the nut-brown lass with hazel eyes, let it pass. She that has good eyes has good thighs, let it pass, let it pass.
As much to the lively grey, 'tis as good the night as day. She that has good eyes has good thighs. Drink away, drink away.
I pledge. What ho, some wine. Here's to thine and to thine. The colours are divine.
But oh, the black. Give me as much again, and let it be sack. She that has good eyes has good thighs, and it may be a better knack.
They knock. Enter a drawer.
A reckoning boy, there. Just here. Here's a friend of ours has forgotten himself a little, as they call it. The wine has got into his head as the frost into his hand. He's benumbed and has no use of himself for the present.
Sir?
Smiles.
Prithee, lock the door, and when he comes to himself, tell him he shall find us at the old place. He knows where.
I will, sir.
And excellent. Okay.
Yes.
Apparently, she that has good eyes has good thighs. This is a turn of phrase that
great bunch of lads.
I wasn't aware of. But okay. Not going to question that too deeply. So yeah, it's in a sense, it's a fairly straightforward sort of escape plot of send them out dressed as the jailer, dress the jailer up. I love the beard discussion. It's like it's not accurate, mate. It's not accurate. If you know, have you not gone to the beard cupboard recently and picked out something more appropriate? I like the detailing there.
Yes.
The rest of the scene feels like padding, but maybe they were really good singers. I don't know.
Yeah, and at least two, possibly more potential quacks for no good reason that I can see.
Yeah, let's not go further into
Let's
that.
not go.
Lois.
Well, there is that bit about old play ends or whatever. I mean, they're capping each other's quotations, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're you've got to pass the time when you're doing a jailbreak. There's sit there, after you. The stage direction smiles. Who's smiling? Is it the boy at the Riley? Is it them at the boy? Who's smiling? What? Why?
I couldn't work that out.
What is it for?
Yeah. Yeah, this scene really lost me. I couldn't make out what these guys were up to.
Well, I know what they're doing. They're playing for time while their friend escapes, and then they'll leave themselves. But they're making sure he's got a decent head start and making sure nobody's coming to talk to the jailer. So it sort of makes sense. Why we have to watch it, I don't know.
Yeah. One thing is I'm pretty sure by this time the drinking song had become almost an essential to a comedy. I mean, you get an awful lot of them.
Would this have been a everyone together now sort of situation then?
Hold up the song sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in a prison. It's time to sing some songs. I'll go to Alan.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, there is an explicit stage direction that the boy is given money. And I do wonder whether he's actually given several more gratuities as that scene develops of, look after him, lock the door behind you, let him out eventually, and that's why the boy is somewhat chuffed.
I think we can find lots of reasons, but it's not explicitly clear in the text what actually that is doing. But hey, it was an experience. Act 3, Scene 3. Enter Orsabrin in prison.
To die? Aye, what's that? But yes, I never thought on seriously. Maybe 'tis not too.
Enter Samorat. Do I have to really do this for the playwright? It's getting tedious now. Enter Samorat as the jailer. He undoes his fetters.
This change? To whose kind prayers owe I this, my friend?
To thy virtue, noble youth, the gods delight in that, as well as prayers. I am...
Nay, be what thou wilt, I will not question it. Undo.
Thy friend, Samorat.
Ah!
Lay by thy wonder and put on these clothes. In this disguise thou'lt pass unto the prison gates. There you shall find one that is taught to know you. He will conduct you to the corner of the wood, and there my horses wait us. I'll throw this jailer off in some odd place.
My better angel.
And exeunt. I think there's only one thing I want to mention here. I expect him to tug down the beard when he says "thy friend Samorat." He needs to.
Yeah.
As we all know, early modern disguise is completely impenetrable, and no one can ever see who you are, despite arguments over beard color. Aside. I don't think there's anything else really to say there. It's mostly functional with some nice dialogue. Act 3, Scene 4. Enter Peridor with the other thieves.
It is e'en as hard a world for thieves as honest men. Nothing to be got, no prize stirring.
None, but one with horses, who seem to stay for some that were to come, and that has made us wait this long.
Mean day's work, but what remedy? Lawyers that rob men with their own consent have had the same. Come, call in our purdues, we will away.
They whistle. Enter Orsabrin as seeking the horses.
Oh, yonder they are.
Hello, who are these? Any of ours?
No, stand close. They shall be presently. Yield! Yield!
Again betrayed? There is no end to my misfortune. Mischief vexes me like a quadridian. It intermits a little and returns ere I have lost the memory of my former fit.
Sentences, away with him, away with him.
Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 5. Enter jailer and drawers over the stage.
I am the jailer! Undone, conspiracy, a cheat, my prisoner!
Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 6. Enter Samorat.
No men, nor horses. Some strange mistake. Maybe they are sheltered in the wood.
And exit Samorat. Okay, this is a fun little sequence, isn't it? Running all of those things together. I do love this thing. Orsabrin, he just can't catch a break. He's just on a great. And it's just like, oh no, the sonic thieves have turned up again.
Basically saying, "Oh my god, this is like having COVID. You're getting better. You get sick again."
I also just love the response of Peridor's just going, no, don't do speeches at us. No, we're done. You know, that's it. No, shh. We do the story time later. Jailer just randomly
sentences. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. And then the jailer wandering past, and then Samorat wandering past. It's just like this play is just a load of people wandering, guys going, "What's going on?" Happy days. Any other thoughts? There's so much incident, but there's no sustained action, is there? It's like stuff just keeps happening. Okay, any more? Otherwise, we'll go into Act 3, Scene 7. Enter Peridor and other thieves examining the young Lord Torcular that was hurt.
And if a lady did but step aside to fetch a mask or so, you'd follow after still, as if she had gone proud. Ah, is not so?
Yes.
And if you were used but civilly in a place, you gave out doubtful words upon it to make men think you did enjoy.
Oh, yes.
Made love to every piece of cried-up beauty and swore the same things over to them.
The very same.
Abominable. Had he but sworn new things yet, 'had been tolerable.
One of them reads the sum of the confession.
Let me see. Court ladies 8, of which 2 great ones. Country ladies 12, termers all.
Is this right?
Very right.
Citizens' wives of several trades, he cannot count them. Chambermaids and country wenches about 30, of which the greater part the night before they were married, or else upon the day.
A modest reckoning. Is this all?
No, I will be just to a scruple.
Well said. Out with it.
Put down 2 old ladies more.
In the name of wonder, how could he think of old in such a variety of young?
Alas, I could never be quiet for them.
Poor gentleman. Well, what's to be done with him now? Shall he be thrown into the cauldron with the cuckolds?
Or with the jealous? That's the hotter place.
Well, thou mistakest. 'Tis the same. They go together still. Jealous and cuckolds differ no otherwise than sheriff and alderman. A little time makes the one the other. What think you of gelding him and sending him to earth again amongst his women? 'Twould be like throwing a dead fly into an ant's nest. There should be such a daring and pulling and getting up on him, they would worry the poor thing to death.
Excellent. Or leave a string, as they do sometimes in young colts. Desire and impotence would be a rare punishment.
Fie. The common disease of age. Every old man has it.
Enter Tamoren with more thieves leading Orsabrin.
A surprise!
Horns blow. Brass pots beat on. Bang, bang, bang.
Be held by the noise.
Let him
Set him down. Set him down. Bring forth the newest rack and flaming pinching irons. This is a stubborn piece of flesh. 'Twould have broke loose.
So, this comes of wishing myself with devils again.
What art?
The slave of chance. One of fortune's fools. A thing she kept alive on earth to make her sport.
Thy name?
Orsabrin.
Ha! He that lived with pirates was lately in a storm.
The very same.
Such respect as you have paid to me.
Whispers with Peridor.
Prepare to revels. All that can be thought on. But let each man still keep his shape.
Exit Tamoren. They unbind Orsabrin. All bow to him. Music and dance.
Ah, not the false smile of fortune.
They bring out several suits of clothes and a banquet.
Is this the place the gowned clerks do fright men so on earth with? What did I have been here before? Master Devil, to whose use are these set out?
Yours, sir.
I'll make bold to change a little.
Takes a hat, dresses himself.
Could not afford a good plain sword to all this gallantry.
We'll see, sir.
1,000 times civiller than men and better natured.
Enter Tamoren and Reginella.
All leave the room.
I like not this.
Exeunt Peridor and Thieves.
Cupid, do thou rest. A blunter arrow, but slackly drawn, would perfect what's begun. When young and handsome meet, the work's half done.
Exit Tamoren.
She cannot be less than a goddess. Must be Prosperine. I'll speak to her, though Pluto's self stood by. Thou beauteous queen of this dark world, makest a place so like a hell, so like a heaven. Instruct me in what form I must approach thee, and how I adore thee.
Tell me what thou art first, for such a creature mine eyes did never yet behold.
I am that which they name a buffer man, the watery elements. I much have lived, and dare they term me Orsabrin. Have you a name too?
Why do you ask?
Because I'd call upon it in a storm, and save the ship from perishing sometimes.
It is Reginella.
Are you a woman too? I never was in earnest until now.
I know not what I am, for like myself I never yet saw any.
Nor ever shall. Oh, how came you hither? Sure you were betrayed. Will you leave this place and live with such as I am?
Why may not you live here with me?
Yes, but I'd carry thee where there is glorious light, where all above is spread a canopy studded with twinkling gems, beauteous as lovers' eyes, and underneath carpets of flowery meads to tread on. Thousand pleasures which this place can ne'er afford thee.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. I'll bring thee unto shady walks and groves fringed with silver purling streams, where thou shalt hear soft-feathered choristers sing sweetly to thee of their own accord. I'll fill thy lap with early flowers, and whilst thou binds them up in mysterious ways, I'll tell thee pretty tales and sigh by thee. Thus press my hand and warm it thus with kisses.
Will you indeed?
Enter Tamoren and Peridor above with others.
Fond girl, her rashness sullies the glory of her beauty. 'Twill make the conquest cheap and weaken my designs. Go part them instantly, and blind him as before. Be you his keeper, Peridor.
Yes, I will keep him.
Her eyes like lightning shoot into my heart. They'll melt into nothing ere I can present it to her. Sweet excellence.
Enter Thieves and blind him.
Why is this hateful curtain drawn before my eyes? I have sinned. Give me some other punishment. Let me but look on her still and double it. Oh, whither do you hurry me?
Carry him away.
Madam, you must in.
I mean, what's this? Must...
Exit Reginella. Enter other devils.
We have had such sport. Yonder's the rarest poet without, has made all his confession in blank verse. Not left a god nor a goddess in heaven, but fetched 'em all down for witnesses. Has made such a description of Styx and the ferry, and verily thinks he has passed them. Inquires for the blessed shades, and asks much after certain British blades, one Shakespeare and Fletcher, and grew so peremptory at last he would be carried where they were.
And what did you with him?
Mounting him upon a coal staff, which tossing him something he apprehended to be Pegasus. So we left him to tell strange lies, which will turn into verse, and some wise people hereafter into religion.
And exeunt. Once again to the playwright.
Quack, 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 quack.
Yes, so many quacks, so little time. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing about the goblins, the devils, the thieves, is that this whole shtick of them blindfolding people does mean that they're basically consummate Foley artists, that they're all there doing the soundscape of hell and torture and torment and things. And I really think any production absolutely has to lean into that and really, really enjoy it. And these things, and of course we're starting to get the impression of the behind the scenes stuff that's going on with the people who run this goblin outfit. And yes, I'm fully expecting one of them to be Peter Cushing, so we're doing well. And yeah, it's doing a lot. It's introduced Orsabrin is just like he keeps catching a break, as it were, and then the break is taken away, and it's just like it's the poor guy. He has no idea what's going on or why anything's happening.
And he doesn't know who he is, although all the goblins know, apparently.
Yeah. So, yeah, this play is doing a lot of stuff. The advantage with the goblins is, of course, everyone wears masks. So those thieves can be anyone at any moment from the cast. They are utterly irrelevant who they are. They are not people most of the time. Lynn, then Aidan.
Yeah, this is really interesting structurally. Well, first of all, it's like the meta-ness, of course, makes me laugh. I mean, Fletcher's been dead since 1625, so 13 years, but he's still evidently he's got name recognition. So it's that. But I mean, dramaturgically, this is really interesting in terms of like the characters, like how the prominence of the people. I mean, in terms of the plot, Orsabrin is not part of like what's titularly the A plot. The A plot is like this romance plot between Sabrina and Samorat. But Orsabrin is the one that shit keeps happening to. And the prince, who is we guess from something the brothers said at the very beginning, Samorat's rival. It's like she was going to marry the prince, but then she fell in love with you, and now our fortunes are ruined. And the prince hasn't even made an appearance yet.
He vaguely popped in. He vaguely popped in
to sing under a window.
Yeah, there was some music.
Yeah, that's right. But he's hardly been on stage, and he's sort of one of the main rivals in the love plot. So, I mean, it's just sort of interesting dramaturgically that there's this sort of typical new comedy plot of rivals for lovers, the true love and the not true love, and that's completely subordinated to all the crazy stuff that's happening to this sort of adjunct character.
Yeah, it's like the plot started. It's like the first scene started with Jewel, my sister, da da da. You're not worthy, I know, da 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 da. And then this guy just turns up, and he has become the plot. I mean, it's sort of like an accidental Night of the Burning Pestle, where they deliberately intercede in the plot. Here, it's just some guys just caught in a play, and it's like he has no idea what's going on or why anything is happening, and he just wants to go to the pub and just have a nice day, and it's just like he can't escape it. Sorry, Aidan.
I don't know if this is helpful, but I'm reminded by the structure of how everything, each scene keeps changing so rapidly, and the poor protagonist is so helpless and bounced back and forth. Well, Orsabrin is bounced back and forth. It reminds me a lot of The Goon Show. I feel like Harry Seacombe could be playing Orsabrin, and all the various, and even down to the use of sound for the thieves to create the hellscape. It feels very much in that same genetic lineage as Seacombe, Sellers, and Milligan.
Yeah, absolutely, and just that bit earlier when it's like you, me, you can absolutely see that going back and forth, especially as if one of them is basically Eccles, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just,
No one's fallen in the water yet.
Well, we're not. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, just that sense. And again, that sense of we've got all these people with impenetrable names who are really difficult to keep track of. But actually, the core cast is actually quite tight. And actually, once you've sort of latched onto vaguely their relationships, then actually it sort of starts making sense. And then everybody else is just supernumeraries in masks or hats or whatever, and they're just whizzing on and off stage for business. And it's like, because we've latched onto this character who has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't matter. If he doesn't know what's going on, we don't need to know what's going on, because it's just this whacking back and forth that keeps happening to him. And I say I'm now starting to try and figure out a logic of doubling and how do you marshal your forces to make this land. And you say you need this really tight central cast, and then the people who play everybody else. And I don't think there's much different. Is like you may play one extra character if you're one of the mains, but it's like, there's going to be about 4 to 6 people who are just constantly running off and putting on a hat or a mask and coming back on again and just going, what scene am I in? That's spinning on a sixpence going, I don't know who I am. Other thoughts in the room. The first 3 acts, they've whizzed. It's all action though, isn't it? It's like every so often it attempts to do a scene and we don't care. It's like you have a sustained bit of dialogue where someone's wooing someone or someone's talking plot, and it's like, no, I don't want it. Stop it. I'll go to Alan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting sort of later echoes of Victorian melodrama meets Keystone Cops and a bit of W.S. Gilbert chucked in for good measure, because it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Goblins didn't turn out to be orphans of noblemen.
Yeah, they are.
They
totally are.
They totally are. They clearly are. They're clearly led by a nobleman. I mean, they might not all be noblemen, but if they're not, by the time we finish with it, they probably will be. Lois?
Well, it's clear, I think, that Orsabrin and Reginella are the heirs of 2 formerly opposing houses. And and that's why they're being pushed towards each other in a manner very reminiscent of another play that I'm sure we all spotted. And
it's one of the 7 plays that we've all spotted. Yes.
I think it's very funny, though. I mean, I would love to see this one. I think the only problem is, as you say, it is mainly action, but there's just so much after a while, you might just get tired of it. I think possibly you do need the bits where people are talking just to kind of calm down and, stop laughing at all these crazy entrances and exits.
Yeah, I'm slightly joking. I think that there's nothing wrong with those scenes, and I think we can give them a bit more. But the thing is, this is an incredibly short play as well. It's 14,000 odd words once you take the prologue out. That is a show without an interval length. I mean, that really is.
Good, actually, that's good, because an interval would really trip this up, I feel like.
It doesn't feel like this was an end point. I mean, Reginella kind of could be like this thing of, beauty, darkness. And so it's kind of could work there. And we are about halfway through. But it just feels like it just wants to rattle on. And that could be done. It could be got down happily to 90 minutes and without an interval. That's what I'm feeling here. And it's all effect and pace. And then you maybe trim some of the longer speeches and some of the more random bits. It's like there's still scenes earlier in the play where I'm going, I'm not sure why that happened. And I don't know if we need all of it. Do we need all of the drinking songs? So we can play with what we want and what we don't want in that sense. Other thoughts? Anyone else want to pitch in? Donald?
I was going to say, reading Reginella, I just kept thinking, where has she been all her life? She suddenly sort of come out of nowhere with no experience of life or anything.
Yeah, has she been blindfolded the whole time? It's like he got that impression that she's never seen anyone, and it's like,
what the hell has she been doing?
Yeah.
She must have been on an island somewhere.
Well, probably. God knows.
Okay. I'm going to call this room to order. Okay. I know the play is asking for it, but it's not. It's
not. No,
it's not the aim of the game. That said, anyone else producing it can have a field day actually on that front, and that's fine. That's fine. In fact, that's also slightly a little hook to connect it to a modern audience. Actually, is that it is referencing a lot of things that people might actually get. Not everyone, but enough.
You don't think Cromwell saw this and thought, you know what? I think we could do with 20 years without this stuff. Or are you serious? This is come off it, ban it.
No, I don't think Cromwell ever set foot near a theater, but he heard the rumors.
Yeah, he didn't close them anyway. I mean, that was the
no.
It was before him. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
There is a surprisingly large amount of theatre produced during the interregnum, a lot of which is weirdly more spectacular than what was happening before. It's odd the loopholes actually that of what was performed at that time. It's more the Civil War itself and hostilities is what really does for it, and just infrastructure and things. It's just like we're not in the right place for this kind of activity. Aidan,
on that the sort of metatextuality of it, though, it feels like it occupies the same place as like a superhero film where they bring back 7 characters from different films or show you like this is Captain America's shield in the corner as sort of a wink and a nod to the audience. It feels like it's at the end of this long period of a lot of rich material being produced where it's quite easy to just reach into the bag and say, remember this? That was good. Yeah, on to the next bit, you know?
And it's just having a lot of fun with a lot of stuff, and it's like, but it is the kind of text that only really exists at the end of a period, when everybody knows the gag, everybody knows the conventions. It's not the kind of play that you're going to be producing necessarily in the 1580s or 90s or similar.
You would be.
Though actually there are texts that clearly are playing with previous conventions, but there just isn't as much genre available. This can play with genre in lots of ways as well, and I think it's structurally quite good. It is spinning all the plots, in so much as it cares about them, quite well. Okay, any additional final thoughts, Aliki?
Just that this is something we've said with a lot of the other plays very late in our period, that they're extremely accomplished, the dramaturgy is terribly clever, they're huge fun, and they're terribly light and fluffy, which,
even when they're brutally slaughtering people left, right, and centre. I have to say the Caroline Theatre is currently got a very good hit rate. Possibly better than the Jacobean at the moment. It's interesting that when the Jacobean is good, it's very, very good, and when it's bad, it is really, please, dear God, kill it with death. Lynn.
Exactly. The Caroline Theatre has a higher hit rate, but it's got an easier target. Like you say, there's no stakes. Even in this last scene that we did, Tamoren says, she's making this too easy. Let's throw a spanner in the works. But that his designs that he speaks of is to get them together eventually. I suspect actually, Lois had a good prediction. It is like the Orsabrin and Reginella, are unbeknownst to them, heirs of important families that have been rivals, and I think maybe Tamoren is Reginella's father. But there are no stakes. You know that it's going to work out. Right.
Yes, and again, it's the same sort of thing that the importance of being earnest will be doing with 19th century drama. Of just like it knows the conventions, it's going to send them up rotten, and it's clearly doing that with aplomb and sword fights and songs and just. Almost full on bedroom farce. It's not quite there with the bedroom farce angle, but it's colorful
costumes. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think we've we've done enough for this session. We will find out more about it next time. You can always join us in the future. This is an entirely open process. Anyone can sign up and join us. There's a sign up form on the website beyondshakespeare.org, which anyone can sign. It reiterates every week when we're in session. So yeah, have a look, sign up, and come in. This is of course recorded in the distant past. For all I know, I've been taken out by a meteorite and have never be seen again. But I'm hoping it's not an empty promise and that this is still an option. So do come and join us. But till then, all that remains to thank all the wonderful readers who are here for their wonderful reading. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye. Thrown into the cauldron with the cuckolds.